Capricorn, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for May 20th to May the 26th. I don't know why I'm laughing, I'm in a silly mood. And if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment only if you would like to. I don't mind what you do. I'm happy to have you listening to this reading. And I will start your reading right now. I'm a little bit late, I know, but I'm going to stop. I'm here. What can I say? So the first card you have your past is the Empress, which is, this is a beautiful card. This is so nurturing. I love this card. So I am seeing closeness with someone in this card. I'm actually seeing, friendships in this card. And I'm saying friendships with an S because I'm seeing two separate people. Now, one of these people, I think you might have had a little bit of a sort of on and off with, I think. And I don't think you minded that. I think, you're a busy person, so you don't have much time for a lot of people all the time to be full on in friendships. You're a loyal friend and you do value your friendships, but I think practically you don't have a huge amount of time for a lot of people. But I think they might have been a bit more, take than give, really, if that makes sense. And I think the experience you had with this person might have made you feel a little bit wary of giving your all to other people, other friends, or definitely any new people. So, I think you know everyone's different. Logically, you know that, but this is about emotions and how you felt around them, how they made you feel, and how that feeling kind of directs new people that are in front of you, if that makes sense. So I think with these other friends, certainly with this one second person I'm seeing, this other person, I think you're a little bit worried about giving them your time and especially all your energy, giving everything to them. It's very hard for you, I think, I see this a lot in your readings, to find the medium between giving your all to someone or just keeping away from them. It's really hard. You really, really do struggle not to give your absolute all to people. That's something I see a lot. So, I think with this second person, I think this, it was probably really early days with them. This is someone, I think you did really connect with them. So it was kind of like, you didn't want to lose them, but you also didn't know them that well yet. And you're kind of wondering, should I do this? Should I kind of get into this? So, if you're still wondering about this person, I don't think they'll turn out to be like the other person. They're kind, they're a busy person like you, but I think they're aware of, friendship dynamics, give and take and all of that. And, they're a generous person and they're a reasonable person as well. And I think you'll see that in time. And I think once you do realise that, I think you'll probably be able to drop your guard a bit around them. You'll feel a bit more comfortable generally around everyone, really. Because this other person left you feeling really uneasy and not terrible. And I don't think they're terrible either. I think you just felt that you weren't yourself anymore and you had to get that back. And I think that'll come back eventually. So, yeah, the next card you have your past is Temperance. This is my favourite. I mean, probably the Emperor should be my favourite card, or the Fool, and I like those cards, but this is my absolute favourite because it's all about getting out of a bad situation and creating it for yourself, doing it all yourself, and then rising up. So I absolutely love this card. And it's a little bit magical as well. There's some alchemy in this card. But anyway, I won't talk about that. This is about you, and yeah, you do always bounce back. So when you're in a situation, you do bounce back, and I think, you're really strong. You are. I always see that in your readings as well. But what I think is some people can misinterpret that strength for someone who can sort of, withstand anything, any sort of behaviour, anything. And that's not true. Obviously, that's not true. You know that. You have a really huge heart, and your heart hurts like everyone else's. And I think that might have been a little bit of what happened with this person who left you feeling uneasy. I think they might have thought something like, oh, they'll be okay, they're even tempered and they seem to be fine all the time, that's fine. But that's not true. You know that. You feel a lot. You feel things very, very deeply. And a lot of people miss that, I think. You also have this air of professionalism around you. It's like nothing phases you. Of course it does. You're human. But I mean, you know all of that. But I think that I'm just giving you some insight into... I'm not giving excuses to this person or to anyone. I'm just giving you some insight into why people might have that impression and they might not consider you as much as they should. That's what I'm seeing. So anyway, with this card, I think this is about you wanting to progress with something, and this was work related, I think. And I'm actually seeing something you experimented with a bit. You experimented with one way of doing this, and there are a lot of problems around that when you did that. So I hope this is going to make sense. I'm trying to explain what I'm seeing. I think you had to work with a thing, or it could have been a person or a place even, and it was the opposite to how you are. It kind of went against the way you are as a person. And it might have been something like, you had to work in an area that was unfamiliar to you, or it could have been a place you had to go to. It was something, or maybe even someone who was totally different from anything you'd ever dealt with before. And I think you saw this as a very negative thing that happened, a very negative experience. And I think you saw this as a little bit of a disaster, actually. So I think, what I'm seeing is as you go down another road with this thing, because you're going to continue with this project or this thing, you'll probably have to go into some unfamiliar or even uncomfortable territory again. And when this happens, you'll probably get that same feeling again, like that horrible feeling, like, oh, this is a disaster. It's going to trigger you and trigger these old memories, I think. Now, if this happens, don't let this put you off, because you're going to have to go through some uncomfortable things to get this to work. You really are. I mean, obviously, if something makes you feel really uncomfortable, of course, don't do that. I don't mean you should hang around on the casting couch or anything like that, obviously. But, if you want this to work, and you so do, you really want this to happen. I can really feel that. So don't let these triggers of bad memories or uncomfortable feelings or things, don't let any of that put you off. Try to put those feelings aside and say, they're just feelings, they're just memories of something that happened before. It doesn't mean that's going to happen now. So I'm going to put these aside and I'm just going to push forward. That's the sort of thing you're going to have to do with this. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the last card you have for your future is the Five of Cups. Yes. So yeah, this is usually a really negative card, but I think this is sort of a positive for you. I think this is about you again turning things around for yourself, like I was seeing in the Temperance card. Yeah, especially this project, I think, because if you look at this man, he has spilt cups in front of him, and if he turned around, he'll be able to see the full cups that are behind him, but he needs to turn around. So this is about turning around to see what's there. So you will be able to do this thing. It's had some false starts, I can see that. And, you've had a few disappointments around this, because this card's about disappointments, obviously. But again, I'm seeing this again. Look at this bridge. You're going to have to go back over this bridge and face some old memories or some old uncomfortable feelings to get to where you need to go. You're going to have to go on this journey. You're going to have to lift up your head and walk on this journey. And I know that sounds horrible and uncomfortable and something you probably don't want to feel, you don't want to do, but if you do this and you work through this, you're going to really grow from this. And this is about growing internally, being a stronger person, growing spiritually, growing emotionally, growing in everywhere, every direction, hopefully not growing in your width, which is the way I usually grow. But so you'll be grown and you'll be stronger and you'll be better. by the time this whole thing takes off. So this is like preparation for you. This is going to come to a head at the end. It's going to all take off. It's going to be at the stage where you're ready to launch whatever this is, and you'll have learnt all those lessons by the time you get to that time. So this is all a positive. This is like, it seems negative, it feels negative, the feelings are negative, but you're growing into a positive. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So then the first card you have for your present is the Page of Cups. So I'm actually seeing some kind of invitation, I think, and this is something around traveling, I think, or going on a trip, or it's something like that. Now there's love around this as well, but it's like early love. You know, the pages are students, so they're just learning. So if you're single, I think someone might make you an offer, come and talk to you about this, and it might have travel around it, I'm seeing, or some kind of promise of travel in the future. It could be a friend who's interested in you and you might not know about their feelings yet. Yeah, I think this might actually be someone you know. This is someone who you joke around with, I think, and I don't think you've thought of them in that way, not yet anyway. The pages can be about potential again. So I'm getting a feeling of, you know, just fun, lightheartedness around this. I think this person probably brings you a bit of release from stress, because I am seeing a lot of work stress around you, and you love talking to them. You probably love joking with them. I mean, look at this page. He seems very amusing and funny and all that. So, but I don't think you realise their feelings for you yet. I think they'll let you know soon if they haven't already, and they might have been in your last reading actually, this person. I'm just remembering something like this, I think. If this is the same person, obviously they still haven't spoken up yet. Hurry up and speak up, please. So the next card you have for your present is the Seven of Wands. Yeah. So yeah, work stress. I think, you know, you have your usual things, the normal work stress that we all have to cope with. But on top of that, I think you might be having to deal with, okay, I'll try and explain this. This man's battling against a lot of faceless people. I mean, they probably do have faces, but we can't see them here. They're not literally faceless. And I'm seeing you having to deal with some kind of, it might be some kind of technology issue, I think. And this is just so frustrating. I'm really feeling this. Maybe this is why I'm kind of struggling a bit to articulate this, but I'll try my best. So it's a bit like a technical issue. It's very frustrating, and it's like, you know, trying to deal with a faceless bureaucracy or something like that. You know, I'm just seeing you trying to call people to deal with this problem, and maybe you get some pre-recorded thing, and none of the options they give you are what you want, and then they don't call you back and all that, and that wastes all your time, and it's so stressful. It's so frustrating. I know, I've been through these kinds of things. I've literally been crying, literally, over technology issues in the past. A couple of times I have actually been in tears over it. The frustration and the time wasting, you know, when you have a deadline and something holds you up, and then you've tried everything to do this and you waste more hours, and then people don't call you back, or they mess you up, you know, all of that. Oh, it's so frustrating. I really, really feel this for you. So I'm not talking about myself. So if you're in this now, firstly, I really feel for you. I'll say that. But you will get through this. You will solve this. You will get on top of this. It's going to be finished, and it's going to be under you, beneath you. This man's on top of a hill, so you are going to get there. You're going to get on top of this. This can be a huge time waster, I know, so if this is resonating, you will definitely get there. Just know that. Hang in there. The last card you have for your present is the Three of Cups. yeah, again, you'll get through this. And this is so frustrating when you get to the end of this and you've dealt with this and you've kind of found a solution to this. You'll feel like this. You'll be so relieved. You'll be, yay, like these three women. Hopefully you won't be driven to drink like these three women. I can understand why you would be, but hopefully not. So the other thing I'm seeing in this card is that you might not be interested in this person. When it comes to love, sometimes this card can be the friend card or the friend zone. It can be third parties, but I think this is the friend card. So these women are all friends and they're all just having a relaxing time together. So yeah, they do feel more like a friend to you, I think. And I think it actually might get a little bit awkward when they ask you if you say no to them, which I think you probably will. You know, I think you'll handle this well. You know, you handle people well, you know how to handle people. There is going to be awkwardness around this after you've had this conversation, because I keep on seeing them as someone you see all the time, maybe even every day. And this awkwardness, it's going to be around for a while, but it is going to fade eventually. The atmosphere is going to be a little bit awkward for a while. But yeah, the thing I'm seeing here is, what's standing out to me here is you have a very strict criteria when it comes to love, you know, about who you'll form a relationship with. Because I think in your past, you just put up with too much and you just stayed with people for too long, and you've really learned from that. Just look at these three women in this card. Now, it's what I can see, it's different on different decks. So the colours are different on different decks. In this deck, it looks like two women are in red and one's in white. One of the red outfits looks a little bit orange, a bit lighter. On the original decks of this, one of the dresses is either yellow or gold. Sometimes it's a bright orange, but I think the original one was yellow or gold. So these three colours in this card sum up what you want from a relationship. Red, passion; white, honesty; and yellow or gold, which you can't see on here very well, is intellectual compatibility, because quite often yellow means the mind, intellectual, thinking. It can be happiness, it can also represent the sun, but a lot of the time it's your thinking. It represents thinking and the mind. So yeah, so that's what you have. You have that on your mind when you consider anyone for a relationship. And I'm really glad you're like this, actually, because I think some people might see this as quite a bit, you know, rigid and a bit businesslike. I personally wouldn't operate in this way. I'm very open to who I meet. You know, if I'm single right now, so if I see someone and I have that little spark with them and I have fun with them, then I kind of go into that territory. I'm quite easygoing in that. I don't really have a type. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about myself. I promise I won't. This is about you. That's what suits me. This is what suits you. That's what I'm seeing here. So you are a business-like person. And I'm glad you're actually sticking to this and you're on the right path when you do stick to this, because I see this all the time in your readings. Your default can be that you do too much for people in relationships and you give too much and you fall very hard for people and you're so giving, too giving, especially early on when you don't quite know them that well. That's what I see. So you're right to keep this in mind when you meet people. This is your compass. This is showing you when you fall for people and you start losing your head, always go back to this and think, okay, what do I need out of a person? I need this and I need this and I need this. Do they have those things? That's what I'm seeing in that card. I really hope that makes sense to you. So the first card you have for your future is the Fool. So, which is me. So this whole, I don't mean to talk about me, I'm sorry. So, okay, so this is really interesting. I'm seeing this project or, you know, this thing that you're trying to achieve in the Temperance card. This is telling me that it's not just work for you. It's not just a work project. It's not just business for you. This is personal for you. This is personal to you. This means something personally to you. So again, you're going to come up against these kind of awkward or negative feelings. And I think these are based around some old memories that you have of things going wrong around this. Now, this is another really clear message about this. Don't let these feelings stop you or drag you backwards like this dog is trying to drag this fool. Be more like the fool. You know, he just does things. He doesn't care about other people. He doesn't, I don't mean don't care about people, but he doesn't care about feelings getting in the way or anything or anyone getting in the way. He just does it. So this is a message to you to say, just do this thing. And this is where your passion is. Look at his red sleeves. Look at the red everywhere. Go for this. And also the roses on his outfit. You want to manifest this, so please do this thing. Don't let the feelings stop you. Put them aside. When they come up, just say, these are not related to where I'm going. These are related to where I've been. These feelings, they are negative. I put them in the past where they belong. Say something like that to yourself in your head when they pop into your head, if that helps. The next card you have for your future is the Queen of Cups. So yeah, I don't mean to be repetitive. I really don't. I get into trouble for that, I know. But if I keep on seeing things, the same kind of message or a similar message, obviously it's because someone needs to hear that message. So again, this Queen, okay, look at this Queen. She's the emotional Queen. She's the most emotional of probably anyone in all of these cards. She's super emotional. Now she's sitting there, the tide's coming in, it's coming up around her feet, and it's probably making her feet wet at this stage, and she's so lost in her emotions. She can't move, she can't do anything, she's just stuck on her emotions. She needs to get up and walk away, she needs to run away before she sinks and before the water goes up around her head or whatever. She's not doing that, she's just sitting there. So again, don't let your feelings or your emotions leave you stuck in one place. Leave the emotions behind and move forward. This woman, this Queen, needs to move. She needs to get out of where she is, but she's not. The other thing I'm seeing is, I'm seeing you being a good listener, because the Queen of Cups is very emotional. She's open. She's very, very feminine. I think this is about you listening to someone. I think someone around you has a lot of problems, probably personal problems, because this is the emotional Queen. And I'm seeing a mix of work and friendship here. So it might be someone you work with who you're trying to help with their problems, or it might be a client relationship. I'm actually seeing someone overstepping a bit, if that makes sense. I don't think you mind that, but I'm seeing them taking up a lot of your energy and a lot of your time, and they might even start to drain you after a while, after being around all of these problems and hearing about them. You know, you're an easy person to talk to. You don't mind listening to people and helping them. But again, this is another example of emotions and emotional things taking over your energy, taking over your time and all of that. So I'm not saying don't help people, but just be careful to manage this in a way that they don't drain you and take all your energy and all your time. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, the last card you have for your future is the Devil. The horrible, ugly, probably smelly, horrible old devil. Sorry, I'm silly. So yeah, right, this is serious. So be careful, be very careful around this person in the Queen of Cups that you're helping. I'm not saying they're a bad person. I'm not saying don't help them. I'm not saying, you know, walk away from them. I'm not saying anything like that. I think they might take this a bit too far. I think they might drain your energy too much. I think they might feel as if they need you. Instead of seeing you as someone who, oh, I can rely on this person, I love talking to them, they can help me, that's great, and then I can put that aside and do other things. No, they're going to see you as someone that they need. They're going to become very needy, I think. They're almost going to feel as if they need to be chained to you, like these people are chained to this horrible devil. So just be careful, because I think this is going to escalate. And I'm actually seeing things like, you know, maybe your phone's going to go off at all times, at night time and all the time. This is going to stress you out. Now again, I'm not saying don't help them. Maybe you could do something like, you know, you could manage this in some way. Like you could set up some kind of schedule or something where they call you at set times or something. Or maybe you could, if you know some other resources that can help them, you could point them toward that. Just be careful that this doesn't become out of hand, unmanageable. They're not bad. Once again, they're not a bad person. They're not the devil. They're just going to have to, you're going to have to be really, really careful not to let this get to the stage where you're completely swamped by this person. So yeah, hold on to all the energy that you have for yourself, because you really need it for yourself. You really, really do. I hope that makes sense. So Capricorn, I hope this resonated, and I'm really sorry I started talking all about myself. I don't mean to do that, but yeah, again, this is a general reading, and general readings don't always resonate with everyone, as you fully well know. But if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. And thank you so much for watching.